Welcome to the Positive TV News Roundup, the programme that aims to be the antidote to the traditional news agenda. I'm Jeremy College, and this week I'll be bringing you more positive news stories from around the world. So first off in this week's show, shark attack victims to fight to protect sharks. 35 years after the film Jaws struck fear into cinema audiences around the world, a group of shark attack victims has called on the UN to ban shark fishing. The 9 victims want a ban on finning, a gruesome practice in which fishermen cut off the shark's top dorsal fin and leave the fish to drown or bleed to death. Shark's fin is a delicacy which is used to make shark's fin soup. An estimated 73 million sharks are killed by finning each year, and nearly a third of all shark species face the threat of extinction. So for Krishna Thompson, a New York banker who nearly died after a shark took his legs, the scale of this carnage easily trumps his personal loss. "I was attacked by a shark. Yes, it was a tragedy, but that's what sharks do," said Mr. Thompson, speaking at an event sponsored by the Pew Environmental Group, which called on the UN to protect sharks. Sharks, as top predators, are essential to the balance of the marine environment. Removing them from our oceans would collapse marine ecosystems and cause a rise in the population of smaller fish. But unlike other at-risk species such as tuna and cod, there's no global management plan for shark fishing. "If I could endure such an attack and lose a limb and still support shark conservation, I don't see why anybody else shouldn't," said Mr. Thompson. "I don't even want to think about what the oceans would be like if we didn't have sharks. I know it wouldn't be good." Next, footy-playing robots revolutionise the search and rescue operations. Football-playing robots could soon defeat a human team, claim their creators. New advancements in artificial intelligence and robotic technology could see robots playing vital roles alongside their human counterparts in search and rescue operations and as home help. The author of the study, Claude Samut, from the ARC Centre of Excellence for Autonomous Systems in Sydney, reviewed the new technology at the Robo Cup International Soccer Competition, which took place in Singapore. Football is a useful task for scientists who are developing robotic artificial intelligence because it requires the robot to perceive its environment, to use its sensors to build a model of that environment, and then to use that data to reason and take appropriate actions. On a football pitch, that environment is rapidly changing and is very unpredictable, requiring a robot to swiftly perceive, reason, act, and interact accordingly, he added. As with human players, football also demands communication and cooperation between the robotic players. It requires them to have the ability to learn, as teams adjust their tactics and try to beat their opponents. So such advancements in robotic technology could be vital in saving lives and minimising fatalities in search and rescue situations. They may also prove invaluable for home help as the world continues to deal with a rapidly ageing global population. So next we move on to breast cancer survival rates, and they could be improved by the discovery of a new molecule, say scientists. Personally, I prefer alternatives to chemotherapy. However, I realise that it saves lives, and according to new research, experts at the University of Aberdeen have discovered that cancer patients who have serapin B3 molecules in their bodies are better able to cope with more aggressive forms of chemotherapy, as the new molecule seems to protect non-cancerous cells. The findings are the result of a 12-month study of 250 women being treated for breast cancer in Aberdeen. Dr. Elena Colley-Dugard, lead researcher in the study, said, "This is a major finding which could ultimately increase the survival rates from breast cancer by allowing the identification of the types of chemotherapy which are likely to be more effective in individual patients." So breast cancer is the most common cancer in the UK, affecting 1 in 9 of every woman. Scientists now will repeat this study on a larger group of patients. Don't forget, we'd always like to hear your opinions as to whether you think the stories are positive or not. And finally, how to make green cool for teenagers. Now, we all know that most teenagers will do pretty much anything to be considered cool, but do any of them want to be considered green? That's what a new 3-year research project involving 5 British universities wants to find out. The £1.5 million project will attempt to make being green cool. Most teenagers are non-bill-paying consumers, and that's a fact I can confirm, having 2 of them, according to the project leader, Dr. Janet Reed, a computer scientist at the University of Central Lancashire. This project offered the opportunity to change the way a whole generation thinks about energy consumption. researchers will be encouraging those who participate to spread the word on social networking sites. Initially, a competition will be set up in each of the 10 core schools to create a social community of shared experiences through narrative, images and videos, essentially an online diary about how they consume energy and how successful they are in changing their habits. So come on, kids. Okay, so that's it for this week from Positive News Roundup team. Remember, you can get more details on any of the stories featured and much more on our website at positivetv.tv. So until next week, bye for now.